When's the right time to start a family? I think when you feel that it's the right time to start a family is the right time to start a family.
My mum was very young, but that was great because we were grown up, and then my mum and dad could travel a lot when they were still relatively young. I was relatively old, but I feel then that I was mature enough to know that that was the right time for me and that I had had other experiences. Having said that, the body doesn't pull up so well when you're older.
If you're in a position where you're starting to consider it seriously, but there's one or two things that you still want to achieve, to plan that perfect time, and I think, probably at that stage you should be really considering, well, now's the time, rather than trying to dot I's and cross T's.
If you have a baby, you will afford it. But I think it is more an emotional and physical state that you have to think about, that makes you decide whether you're ready to have a baby or not.
Is Miranda Kerr the ultimate mummy? I think Miranda Kerr... Oh, I won't say that. At the risk of being sued for defamation, no comment.
I have no idea what she's like as a mum. I have a great idea of what she's like when she's a professional, and she's a professional. She's a professional model, and so her livelihood is looking good and getting back in shape and back on the catwalk and back into swimsuits as soon as possible. The unrealistic thing is other people trying to tell you through the media that that's the norm for everyday people.
I actually feel sorry for a lot of these famous women because it's expected of them to look amazing, because they are forever inside, cameras following them. So the pressure on them, I feel, is more than me and my fellow mothers.
Yes, I have a favourite child, my little baby Anya.
I don't have a favourite child. I have favourite bits of my kids, but not one over the other. It's not Charles Dickens.
No. I have days where one child is like, oh, you're performing beautifully today, I really like this, and then I have another day where another child then is performing amazingly. I think, oh, fantastic.
I don't see myself in Anya, but enough people do see me in her who remember me when I was young.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. There's definitely one of them that's more like me than the other, I think, now. Yeah.
Very much so, very much so. And I enjoy that. One child is very like me, one child is very like my husband, and the other child is very much a mix. And what I find entertaining is one child, our humour is very similar, so we'll laugh at the same things. And then I'll watch the faces of the other parent and the other child and think they're not getting this, and which is even more entertaining. But then something will come up and the humour of the other child tickles the other parent, and it's fascinating. I love it because it reminds me very much of my childhood when there were similar things that my father and I were amused by. And I think you can't escape genetic similarities, so you have to enjoy them rather than, embrace them. I think it's really good.
I don't know if there's a divide in the household as far as housework goes. We try and get everybody to pitch in as much as we possibly can.
The housework divide. It gets done. We have a cleaner. What can I say?
We try very hard to make sure that the kids are involved in as many aspects of housework that we can get them into.
I can safely put my hand on my heart and say that if my husband cleans up the kitchen, it's tidier than when I do it, and so I let him do it. And I used to feel guilty about it, and then I questioned and said, why am I feeling guilty about the fact that my husband's cleaning the kitchen when in fact he does it the way he wants, which is what he prefers?
To be completely honest, Deb probably does more of it. and you know, you try and find a balance that everyone is happy with, and you know, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you get told.
Yeah, they watched TV under 2, and I think they had computer, not necessarily computer time, but they would sit on your lap when we were working on stuff at the computer, or and want to type and sit there and do things. So yeah.
And certainly because I'm not a computer literate person at all, things like that have only been introduced in our house at later stages. So now my children are a tad older than that, so it was never an issue when they were under 2. No.
I do let my child watch TV because I'm usually watching at the time. Look, the TV's on. They watch it. They look at it for 30. She looks at the TV for 30 seconds, and she's more than happy to spend 3 hours playing with a belt. So, go figure. They have the attention span of a gnat.
Yeah, of course. You use the TV as a babysitter all the time.
I mean, obviously, if I'm busy in the holidays, it's quite nice to relax if I know they're watching something appropriate. But we now have fun with things like, I love DVDs, I love film. Whenever Dad's away, we have our musical nights, and so the children will pick a musical, and we have great fun choosing one of those, and we take it in turns. So I think it can be used positively as a babysitter, as opposed to, I don't just say, I'm busy, I'm turning the TV on.
But sometimes it's inevitable. You use it as a tool, because sometimes you're trying to get something done in the kitchen, or you're trying to get some work done, and you just go, all right, you're bored, you're not going to play, you've been playing for a bit, let's turn the box on, you can sit down and watch a Pixar film for an hour and a half, and I'll be sorted, and move on. The important thing is to turn it off.